started seeing things in a positive way. So, like what are the things that maybe I'm grateful for, the blessings that I have, this something you can say that I didn't actually at that point in time thought of it as a blessing. I actually started to see things which are more resourceful, which can help me going. So then I started seeing that, okay, I have this. When you start seeing what you have, your complaint, will get lesser.
Hey guys, welcome to Keep On Pushing Stories, where we tell you real life stories of resilience and perseverance and personal growth, right? Where you're going to meet um, guests who will share their journey from challenge to triumph. And we're looking forward to inspiring you as you embark on your own journey and overcome your obstacles. And today, I'm so excited to welcome Ambreen Nadeen to the show. Ambreen, welcome to Keep On Pushing Stories.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Devon, for having me on your show. It's really an honor to be here. Thank you.
Indeed, indeed. So tell us, Ambreen, what do you do? How do you bring value? How do you share and add value to the lives of others?
Okay, that's a very good question. I'm basically a psychologist, and my specialization is in industrial psychology. So, my professional side is basically this is it. Yeah, so I'm basically professionally, I'm a marketing research consultant, and I do research for the companies to understand consumer psychology. And my passion is is mental health and to share knowledge about psychology and mental health because almost 20 years ago I had this goal to write a book, and that book is all about like sharing knowledge about psychology, mental health, some spirituality, philosophy. So, and that's what exactly I do on the social media to share knowledge about like psychology, mental health. And if you just see my post, like regular, I post about on LinkedIn, on other social media platforms, and that's all about that how we can use our mind effectively.
Mhm. So if someone wanted to learn from you, Nadeem,
Yeah.
about how they can use their mind effectively. You mentioned LinkedIn. How do they find you?
Yeah, I'm very active on LinkedIn. I have my website also, thepsychologytalks.com. They can just see all my work from there, and I'm almost all social media. Like I'm on Twitter, like now X, and Insta. I'm on YouTube. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Substack. So it's easy to find me if you even if you cannot like if you don't know where to find me, you can just Google and then connect with me.
What's your handle on Instagram and X and so on?
Yeah, on Insta is the Ambreen Nadeen without any gap, and on the Insta on X it is
Spell
Ambreen.
that for our guest.
Okay, okay. So on Insta it's the Ambreen Nadeem, TheAmbreen Nadeem. So the Ambreen Nadeem. And on Insta, it's Ambreen Nadeem 78. So it's AMBREEN NADEEM 78. So that's on the Twitter. And like you know on YouTube also you can just search Amreen Nadeem, and then it can show with the name of also Psychology Talks. So and I'm also I'm a podcast host as well. So with the name of Psychology Talks, they can find me on Apple, Spotify, and on the Amazon Music.
All right, cool. So it sounds like you're an easy person to find. That's a good thing.
Yeah. Yes.
So, one of the things that we're always very curious about, Ambreen, is what I call your keep on pushing stories. What would love to hear from you is a time in your life when you had to overcome a significant challenge or you had to push yourself out of your comfort zone. So
Yeah.
please do tell us, share with us one of your
Yeah.
keep on pushing stories.
Yeah. And there are actually many times when I face lots of challenges, but I tell you that, which changed my life. So it was, I would say it was quite long time back when I was a teen, and I was very young at that time. Like it's I started my college, and my dad actually lost a job at that time. He was enjoying a very good employment at a very good company, and of course we were also having very good life. But then when he lost the job, we started facing very severe financial crisis. And when it happened, it actually took a toll on my kind of a mental health, because I developed depression, and I went into the depression very deeply, and to the extent that I developed suicidal thoughts. And at the peak time, like, when I was just thinking that, I wanted to end my life, I just came up with this thought that, what if I just change my thoughts and everything could change? And that thought literally changed my life. And I started changing my thoughts that, okay, because I was, the thing is that, when I was on the verge of taking my life, I was looking for some easy way out, like easy way to commit suicide. And in that process, I realized that it was not just the pain from the life I'm going through, it's the pain from the thoughts that I'm running away. And that thing, actually, that realization gave me some kind of hope that, if I'm running away from the thoughts, then maybe if I change my thoughts, I may change the life. And that was such a huge realization that I started changing my thoughts. I said, okay, let's give it a try. If I try to change my thoughts, and it may sound cliche that when you start to change, when you change the look, when you change the way you look at the things you look at change. It is actually very true, because when I started taking things in a positive way, I started attracting the opportunities. I started seeing the opportunity to grow. It was not easy because I didn't have any resources. I was very young at that time. And I know that, like, this realization, nobody could have actually believe that, would do that. But then I actually found kind of my purpose that, okay, this is something that I want to share with the world. And that time I decided to write a book, but I didn't have any resources. I was so young. I didn't know anyone who could guide me. And so I gave myself a target of 20 years. As I like before this interview, I told you that
Before you
I'm
tell
basically,
us that, can you share with us any specific, when you decided to change your thoughts, what were
yeah,
some of the specific thoughts that you started to harbor?
yeah. I mean, that's a very good question. I tell you that how actually it occurred to me, and then how I changed my thought. Like one day when I was in a thought and trying to look for, some ways, some easy way to commit suicide, which are painless. It's not because whatever way I thought that it will give me some kind of pain. So that was, and one day I was uh, just thinking about it, and I saw a trail of ants going, right, and they were carrying such a huge, like such a heavy load on themselves. It's such an insignificant insect, and they are following a leader, they're following a path, one path going. And then when they were following, they were like collecting, of course, all the goods for the winter, so they can survive there. And they were I'm sure they were coming from some very far place, and they were following one trail, and their trail was actually blocked by something. And then what happened was, when it was blocked, and I was just thinking that, oh my God, they're carrying such heavy load, they have to go I don't know how far, and the way is blocked. That means they have to take a longer route. And then it said that they didn't give up. So like they didn't just threw up their thing and they said, okay, it's not gonna happen. And they actually changed their path. And like, if you see, and I tried it a couple of times, that, because when I saw that they're changing the path, I put some more obstacle. They didn't give up. They were just following the path because they had the vision. So that's something that occurred to me, that, if I know where I want to go, so no matter how many obstacles I'll face, I will keep on following, like, even with the heavy weight. And that's what something, it occurred to me, that these are the weight of my thoughts. These are the obstacles. And if I have to reach to my goal, I have to take maybe a longer route. And that's why I said, okay, the longer route is 20 years that I gave myself. And then I started seeing things that, okay, my purpose, that I want to share this thoughts, this message to the world, gave me the push that, okay, I need to see how I can do that. And then at that point in time, I decided that, okay, what I need in my life and how I can do that. And in those 20 years, because I'm basically from Pakistan, so I know that I had to settle myself, like I had to get married because of the social conformities and then social stigma. I know that I have to have kids, and then I would work on the book. So those are the things, and I started working, that I need to establish myself in the career, in the family, and then I would also work on my book. So that's how I will do that. And I've written in the book also that when you have that goal, when you start to see that, um, that all the you start to see the opportunities, you will see that out of nowhere people will come and support you to, take up your path.
Yeah,
And
I was
like,
going to ask you, what you said earlier, that once you started changing your thoughts, different things started to happen, your reality started
yes,
to change. So tell us, or share with us one or two specific things
yes,
that happened
yeah,
that helped you to,
absolutely.
transform your life.
Yeah, it's basically, I call it that, when you have that purpose, you become the master of, like, you create miracles. And that's how it is, because you create the right opportunities in your life when you have the purpose. So when I started thinking that, okay, where I want to go, that means at first I wanted to establish myself in the career. And one day I'll just share the example that like doing the masters, we were looking for some job, right? Because I needed money and I didn't have that much. And I did masters in psychology. So I was just, it was not at that point in time, not too much of the opportunities. One day my friend called me and then she said that, I have some work to get some degree from the university to sign or something. I said, no, I have to focus on to find the job and to send the resumes and to go to some company. But she insisted that, okay, let's go. And when I went to the university, I found someone from the company who actually said that, okay, if you want to send the resume to because your qualification matches that, and there is a person who can actually send the resume directly to there. So the company, it was a Unilever. So I sent my resume directly to the person. And guess what? Like within 3 to 4 days, I got a call from that company. So, like when I had the vision, although I was not planning to go to to the university at that day, but my friend insisted. And there are like multiple times that, when you start doing something and when you decide to go in certain field, you get some like ideas, opportunities come from, you get some people who can help you
Yeah.
pursue that passion. Yeah.
hmm So here it is that you're considering you're having these suicidal thoughts. You see some ants going about their business and they run into an obstacle. They didn't quit. You made the journey more difficult for them by adding more obstacles, and they still didn't quit.
Yeah.
And you got this epiphany that, well, maybe I shouldn't quit. Share with us a couple of lessons that you took away, not just from that one day with the ants, but the entire experience of you, I guess, going into depression because your family's fortune had changed to the point where you made a decision to change your fortunes?
Yeah, it's very difficult, to be honest, actually, to overcome depression, because when you are having those negative thoughts, it's kind of what I always tell to the people, because I provide counseling to the people as well. So it's kind of a like bottomless pit, when you start developing those negative thoughts, you start thinking in that direction. Everything looks miserable, everything looks, undoable. It felt like there is a heavy weight. You cannot run away from that. So it's that point in time, I thought that, when I needed to change the thoughts, then I started seeing things in a positive way. So, like, what are the things that maybe I'm grateful for, the blessings that I have, this something you can say that I didn't actually at that point in time thought of it as a blessing. I actually started to see things which are more resourceful, which can help me going. So then I started seeing that, okay, I have this. When you start seeing what you have, your complaint, will get lesser, instead of like, just saying, oh my God, I don't have, you don't have less will always be more. But
So
when
you're
you start
saying that
focusing,
even
yeah.
in your misery, and for our viewers who are watching this, that even though they may be going through a difficult time and experiencing a tremendous amount of lack or loss,
Mhm.
that if they can pause and
Yeah,
look at some of the things that are going well in their
yeah,
lives,
yeah.
that will allow them to feel better about themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the one thing that they need to do. And the best way is to write down the blessings. That's one thing, because, most of the time when we have that the kind of negative thoughts going on in our mind is kind of drawn towards negativity. So in
Mhm.
order to keep this, you stick to the positivity, it is better to actually write down the positive thoughts. So like positive thoughts means blessings in your life, which you are grateful for, and
What were
feel
some
it
of the
that way.
blessings that you could identify at that time, although your family was going through such a hard time?
Yeah, first of all is that I had a family, right, who was supportive. That was one thing. I had life, I had knowledge. And then how many people at that point in time I thought would have this kind of knowledge, would have that kind of ability to change their thoughts. So these three things, like, first of all, that, I thought that I'm surrounded by my family who is supportive. Secondly, that I know that I have the ability to do that, right? And then I know that I have the knowledge also, and I have this passion to gain the knowledge. So these three things were the main focus, which motivated me to pursue my passion.
Yeah. Um, awesome. So you learned that gratitude is one of the things that could push you or pull you out of your situation. What other lessons did you take away?
It's always, you need to believe in yourself. The one thing that I always say, that, when I was thinking, and when I was saying that, I have this ability, that means I can do it. And I know that I might not have at that time, I didn't have the resources, but I know that I can do it. I know that I can achieve the goal. That was the thought that gave me the push to move further. Or I would say that thought gave me the hope that, I can achieve something, I can change my life. So believing in yourself, that you can do something, you can achieve something in your life, you are worthy of doing this, is the main thing.
Yeah. I mean, I've spoken to a lot of people and heard many stories of people who have experienced Great Depression, and you describe it as this bottomless pit that
Yeah.
is really hard to get out of, and I can only imagine. And so, being grateful for the good things in your life, the blessings as you describe it, um, recognizing that you actually have the ability to change your life. Anything else that you think someone who may be, in fact, right now watching us, listening to us, and going through a really tough time. Anything else in your experience, you think?
Yes, one more thing is
Yeah.
very important, that they need to seek help, seek support. They cannot do it alone, because like I also shared, I mean, a couple of days ago, that humans are wired for connection, right? We cannot survive in the loneliness. We may have so many things going on, but find your tribe, find the people who are like-minded, or who can support you, or just seek help. It's always, I mean, what will happen? But that's what I always ask people, that what is, I mean, people will actually reject you or will refuse to help you. That's fine. You are living already without them. So there is
Mhm.
nothing to lose, even if you ask for help. So seeking support and seeking help is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of a strength, that you want something out of life, and keep pushing. You will always find people in the beginning who will not help you, but you will find at least one person who will help you, and that person may change your life.
Yeah. So, as a psychologist, was it the experience that you had as a teenager that inspired you and to want to become a psychologist and help people in that way?
Yeah, but because I'm always so intrigued by human mind, that how does it work, because those are the things that I always used to think, even from the childhood, that why people behave the same way, and how does it happen. And like the thing is that actually I'm a palmist also. I used to read palm, so these are things that when I used to read palm, that I used to see that people will have success, or will face some troubled time. And so I used to think that what is in their control, how they can do it, what is going on in their mind or something. So it's kind of it. These are the questions that I used to have even when I used to read palm. And that actually led my curiosity in psychology and led me to this field.
Yeah. A remarkable story,
Thank you.
coming from the bottomless pit of depression to now, understanding how someone's minds work and be able to help lead people out of that bottomless pit. You definitely epitomize the keep on pushing philosophy of someone who perseveres and is resilient and have clearly experienced some personal growth and have found a way to triumph over your challenges. Ambreen Nadeen, thank you so much for joining us here and Keep on Pushing Stories.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much.